Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Happy Freaky Friday to all you freaks out there. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money, and there is no better day to make some money than Freaky Friday. And guys, this is the final Freaky Friday of the NBA season. Got the Freaky Friday shirt, by the way. If you guys do want to cop these, they are available in the Fade Me store, link down below. In the description, come in a couple of different colors. Really cool shirt. Could be me, could be Zeus. Up for debate for sure. But since this is the final Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay of the year, it's Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Halaban struck again in Game 3. I don't care if I get flagged for saying it. The Halaban is the nickname. The NBA, the moment. Really? The moment? That's what you came up with? Like, that's the most generic corporate... Let's come up with a nice, kid-friendly nickname for this guy. It's the Halaban. It has to be the Halaban. But anyways, I digress. Since this is the final Freaky Friday of the NBA season, I want to make this one special. I want to make this one bigger. I really love the 5-leg parlay I picked out for today's video. And so, with that being said, as you guys know, we always do every Friday our Freaky Friday giveaway. The rules are simple. All you have to do is comment Freaky down below in the comments, and you get a chance to win a free Amazon gift card. I'm upping the stakes big time today. Comment Freaky down below. And if today's Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay hits, and let me tell you guys, let me stand up for you guys for a second, all right? This one's hitting, all right? This parlay is gonna hit. All right, I gotta bend down because I'm 6'4" and a bigger guy. $100 Amazon gift card. You heard it here first. $100. If today's parlay hits, $100 Amazon gift card to one lucky commenter. So please go ahead, comment Freaky down below in the comment section. I feel like people don't believe me when I say I'm like 6'4". I used to be an offensive lineman. This table is raised too. This is pretty high up in the air, and this is what you guys would see standing straight up. But guys, $100 Amazon gift card, Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. We didn't cash, yes, the last parlay for Game 3. We haven't cashed yet in the finals. We're 0-3. But for all the critics out there, we're playing plus 500 parlays or higher. All we need to do is hit one parlay, and we cash, and we make a profit, basically. So, you know what? To all the haters, screw you guys. Love you guys, but screw you guys. Let's dive into today's picks. Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. Comment Freaky, $100 Amazon gift card. If it hits, let's go. I am freaking fired up, if you can't tell, on this Freaky Friday. Guys, 0-3 so far in the finals, but we've been so close to all these parlays. We're going to hit one, and today's the day. So, our first leg of our 5-leg parlay, one more time, Pacers Thunder, Game 4, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We are using DraftKings for today's parlay, and we're using, not DraftKings, FanDuel, sorry. Apologies to DraftKings. We're using FanDuel for today's parlay, and yes, we are using alternate lines. First leg of our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay, the final Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay of the year. We have Pascal Siakam of the Pacers over 19.5 points plus assists. And yeah, I'm going to get criticism. Why you keep betting the same line over and over? Well, because I want to. And he's cashed it in 2 out of 3 legs, so back off. Pascal Siakam over 19.5 points plus assists, minus 270 over on FanDuel. Yes, it's very, very juiced. 8 of the last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 26.2 points plus assists per game over the last 10. However, the last 10 games, only 2 times he failed to cash the over. Both times finished with 19. So he just missed it by 1 both times. So he's either cashing the line or just barely missing it in the last 10 games. And we do look at the overall season data for Siakam here. A 73% hit rate on the season, 71 out of 97 games, including playoffs. He's cashed the over, averaging 23.67 points plus assists per game overall this year. So really phenomenal data across the board here for Siakam, and of course the head-to-head data now. 5 of the last 7 matchups with OKC, he's cashed the over, averaging 21.14 points plus assists per game over those last 7 matchups. Now, if you really go ahead and narrow it down to the last 3 games of this series, he's cashed in 2 out of 3, Game 1 and Game 3. He cashed the over. And again, in Game 2, he just barely missed the over with 15 points and 4 assists. Game 3, I thought, was his best game of the series thus far. And we talked about it in the last couple of videos we've done where we've included this leg. You know, the minutes are there. He's playing around 30 minutes or more a game. You know, the shots are there. 15 shots in Game 1, 11 in Game 2, 14 in Game 3. Game 3, again, he finally kind of figured it out, shooting 8 for 14. But, you know, the opportunity is there. He's averaging about 6.6 potential assists per game over the last 5 games. But so far in the series, 5, 6, and 9. 6, 9. Freaky Friday. Pause for applause. But yeah, really good numbers. Again, the Thunder defensively are a solid team, and from that standpoint, they're top 10 versus power forwards in both points and assists allowed. But with the sheer volume Siakam gets, I do think he's the second most important player on this team. Obviously the most championship experience. I got corrected in Caruso and Thomas Bryant, also champions. But Caruso, that was the Mickey Mouse ring in the bubble, doesn't count. And Thomas Bryant, did he even log any minutes in that Nuggets series? I can't really remember. But Siakam's the guy. I mean, Halliburton obviously had a really big game 3. The Pacers obviously won. They all had a huge game 3. Mathurin played well. But I think Siakam is obviously one of the key pieces. And I think this line is still, I know it's an alternate line, but I think it's pretty favorable. He's gotten close. I know it's not like he's destroyed the line yet this year, or in this series, I should say. But I do like the spot as the first leg of our 5-leg parlay. And speaking of Alex Caruso, the second leg of our 5-leg parlay, we're repeating another player prop from Game 3's parlay. And by the way, this one did hit in that parlay, just barely, but it did hit. I think, or maybe we had it at 8.5. I can't really remember. Should have just did a recap screen earlier. I don't do recaps when it's been a couple of days because it's already well in the rearview mirror. But this was the parlay from Game 3. Yeah, we had Caruso 7.5 points. That hit. Siakam hit. Hartenstein hit. I think SGA and Miles Turner were the two that did not hit. But yeah, so Caruso over 7.5 points. This and Siakam both definitely hit in that last video. Minus 240 over on FanDuel. And yeah, the data's fantastic. 9 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, including all 3 games of this series thus far. The overall numbers are fine. 50% hit rate, not terrible, not great. But from a head-to-head perspective, 7 of his last 8 matchups with the Pacers dating back to last season, he's cashed the over, averaging 12.88 points per game over the last 8 matchups with Indiana. So really solid data across the board here for Caruso. And again, 9 of the last 10, 75% over the last 20 games. Just really solid data across the board. But the more important thing, the one we're really looking at here is, let's go to the last 5, which, by the way, 100% hit rate over the last 5 games so far in this series. So he had 11 points in Game 1. Obviously, Game 2 was kind of his big moment, 20 points. And then Game 3 was a sweat, but he did cash the over with 8 points in that game. But like I talked about here, the key thing to realize, guys, is the numbers in terms of volume, right? 20 minutes in Game 1, 27 minutes in Game 2. Game 3, he actually played the most minutes of this series so far. He played over 32 minutes, just over 32 minutes. The key thing is he just didn't shoot a ton, and when he did shoot, it wasn't very strong. Game 1 and Game 2, he shot 8 shots in Game 1, 11 shots in Game 2 respectively. Game 3, only 5 shots in 32 minutes. The fact that he's playing, though, 32 minutes to me is the key thing here because the Pacers' defense versus point guards and shooting guards, they're bottom 10 in both those categories. He still cashed the over despite the fact that he only took 5 shots and he only shot 40% from the floor. But I think the sheer volume of work that he has in this series, 8 points is a very gettable achievement for Alex Caruso. That's the second leg of our 5-leg parlay. Now, this leg scares the bejesus out of me. We have Tyrese Halliburton under 30.5 points plus assists, minus 250 on FanDuel, fading the Halliburton right now. I gotta be honest, I was like, what am I doing putting this in here? But the data supports the player prop. Now, last 10 games, 50% hit rate, he's averaging 30.4 points plus assists per game over the last 10 games. If we do look at the overall season data, postseason and regular season, he does have a 62% hit rate on this under, averaging 27.88 points plus assists per game overall this year. But from a head-to-head perspective, he had cashed this under in 6 consecutive matchups with the Thunder, including Game 1 and Game 2 of this series. Game 3 obviously being his big breakout moment, 22 points, 11 assists. The Halliburton struck in Game 3. I'm going to chill out on the nickname because I'm pretty sure YouTube is going to flag me if I keep saying that. But Halliburton in Game 3, played 36 minutes, took the most shots in the series, and he shot, 9 for 17. He also had 17 potential assists, ended up finishing with 11. So it was the most successful game thus far, but in the first 2 games of the series, he had cashed the under. And we look at the volume, he still had a pretty high potential assist numbers, but he just didn't take as many shots, and he also just wasn't shooting nearly as well as he did in Game 3. Look, the Thunder defense versus point guards is one of the best in the NBA. SGA can lock up opposing point guards. Second best defense in terms of points allowed, 6th best in terms of assists. He had a really big game in Game 3. They're obviously in Indiana. That is a big factor here. But the fact that he had cashed this in 6 consecutive games against the Thunder, including Game 1 and 2 of the finals, it makes me think that the under is the smarter play here. Halliburton's a guy who he can have moments like he does in Game 3, but the consistency that those moments happen, that's the problem. That's ultimately why he didn't win the conference finals MVP over Siakam. I think Halliburton had better moments, but Siakam was, I think, consistently the better player in that series. I still think Halliburton should have won it because the highs were higher, but I do understand Siakam had a little bit more consistency in his game than Halliburton does. The third leg is going to be the sweatiest of sweats for sure, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for fading Halliburton here, but I'm telling you guys, I think the under is the right play. It's risky for sure, but I think it's the right play. For our fourth leg in today's parlay, we're going to SGA over 30.5, not 38.5, over 30.5 points, minus 225 over on FanDuel. Now, he had a really good run going into Game 3, and then Game 3 just did not play great. A big reason why the Thunder lost, of course. He does cash the over in 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 32 points per game over his last 10. So far this year, a 61% hit rate on the over, averaging 32.05 points per game this season. Pretty solid numbers across the board. And from the head-to-head perspective, he had cashed it in 4 consecutive games against the Thunder, against the Pacers, including games 1 and 2. He had 38 points in game 1, 34 points in game 2, but then game 3 happens. He finishes with just 24 points, but pretty good numbers, averaging 34 points per game across the last 6 matchups with the Pacers. And we'll narrow it down to the last 5 game data, which, by the way, 4 of his last 5, he's cashed the over, averaging 34 points per game. You guys know the Pacers' defense versus point guards overall this year, not very good. Bottom 10 in the NBA in terms of points allowed. But looking at the supporting stats, the reason why I'm rocking with this is the volume is still there. He just had a bad shooting performance in Game 3. I don't expect that to continue moving forward. He is the MVP of the league for a reason. Although, being honest, I thought Jokic should have won. That's just me. But, the volume is there. He did play 42 minutes in Game 3. Let's look at this. He had the fewest shots of the 3 games so far. But obviously, the key thing here and a very big supporting factor is the fact that in all 3 games of this series so far, he's taken at least 20 shots. So Game 1 had the most. He had 30 shot attempts. Game 2, 21. Game 3, 20. The Thunder are now down 2-1 in the series. So this is a really massive game. You cannot afford to lose this one, go down 3-1, have to win 3 straight games. If any team can do it, of course, it is the Thunder. But this Game 4 is massively important. They're going to need SGA to be the best version of himself. I think he will rise to the occasion. And again, he doesn't need to take 30 shots. 21 shots will do the trick. As long as he doesn't shoot less than 50%, 45% on 9 for 20 shooting, that's not great, right? And the other thing, too, is he just the free throw merchant himself. Only had 6 free throw attempts in Game 3, so the free throws were down. The number of shots were down. And I think the volume will definitely increase here in Game 3. I think he'll probably shoot a little bit better as well. He takes in the ballpark of 23, 24 shots, and he shoots around 50%. Gets a couple extra free throws where he will be cooking. Again, he had 24 points, so he was 7 points off the line. And again, he just didn't have a great performance. Didn't shoot the ball that well. Not too many free throws. Didn't get to the line as consistently as he normally does. I do like the spot for SGA. The Thunder back. This is not necessarily totally back against the wall just yet, but they are down 2-1. You lose this game, you're in a really bad spot. So this is a massive game, and I think SGA will come through for the Thunder in this spot. And our 5th and final leg in today's parlay is Chet Holmgren over 14.5 points plus assists. I hate people who do this, who are like, oh, I wish I was going to put him in my pick. I was going to put him in my parlay. I was going to bet him or whatever after the fact. I am going to pull that card, though. I honestly was going to put Chet Holmgren in the parlay on Game 3 because obviously we put him in the Game 2 parlay, and he did hit for us, although the parlay didn't hit. He covered his leg. I wish I took him in Game 3. I didn't. That's my fault, although I definitely was looking at it. I'm going to go ahead and rectify that here in Game 4 with Chet Holmgren over 14.5 points plus assists, minus 220 over on FanDuel. Really solid Game 3 performance. He had 20 points and 2 assists. Despite the fact the Thunder lost, Chet Holmgren did come to play. But the data is solid. 7 of the last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 17.6 points plus assists per game over the last 10 games. Last 20 game data, still 70%, 17.55 points per game. Again, really solid. Overall season data, postseason and regular season, he's only played 51 games this year, but a 65% hit rate on this over when he does play. And from a head-to-head perspective, 4 of his last 5 matchups with the Pacers, he's cashed the over, averaging 15.4 points plus assists per game over the last 5 matchups. So far in the series, Game 1, again, had a really bad game, 6.0 assists. Games 2 and 3 has definitely bounced back, and we know he's going to cover this mostly in points, but he does tally a couple assists here and there during the game. Now, the Pacers versus centers are actually not too bad, but versus power forwards, they're definitely worse, 20th in points allowed, 19th. So point-wise, they're about the same, but assists, they don't give up too many assists down low to the big guys. I'm looking at Chet. Obviously, his volume has increased each and every game, just 23 minutes in Game 1, 27.8 minutes in Game 2, and then the most was in Game 3, 34.7 minutes. You also see the shots are improving. And again, Game 1 was just a bad game. 2 for 9 shooting, first finals appearance, really solid. You could see the nerves in him. But since then, Game 2, 6 for 11. Game 3, he actually didn't shoot very well in Game 3, but he still cashed the over with flying colors. So that just kind of goes to show, as long as he's taking around that volume of shots, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 shots, we should be in business. But the increase in volume, again, 40% in game 3, didn't shoot the best, but he definitely played solid with 20 points. Again, had he shot a little bit better like SGA, maybe the Thunder win that game. But I think the matchup mixed with just the sheer volume that Chet gets, I think he is. Jalen Williams played well in game 3. But I would say Chet, in my opinion, is the second most important player on this Thunder team after SGA, with Jalen Williams being about 2B. Like Chet Holmgren 2A, Jalen Williams 2B. The line's low. The workload is there. The volume is there. He takes like 15 shots again. Again, all we really need him to do is hit like 6 or 7 shots. I like Chet Holmgren a lot in this spot as the 5th and final leg in today's parlay. Not the best analysis, I understand. Just, he gets a lot of volume. But in this stage of the season, those guys who get the minutes, who get the shot volume, it's important because obviously with the intensity and everything going on, volume is massively important in this spot. So Chet Holmgren obviously playing a lot of minutes, taking a lot of shots, makes me want to go ahead and bet is over. All right, guys, jumping over to FanDuel, a quick little run through here. We have SGA over 30.5 points, Alex Caruso over 7.5 points, Chet Holmgren over 14.5 points plus assists, Tyrese Halliburton under 30.5 points plus assists, and Pascal Siakam over 19.5 points plus assists. I don't really do money lines. I leave that stuff up to Ev, but I do think the Thunder bounce back and win this game to even the series 2-2 going back to OKC for game 5. But you parlay all 5 of these legs together, not including the money line. Don't put that in there unless you want to. These 5 legs together is a plus 579 parlay. And again, FanDuel has all kinds of profit boosts and stuff they're doing for the NBA Finals. So really solid value for our 5-leg parlay. You could even make it more valuable with some of the boosts and whatnot they offer. But that is our final, guys, our final Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay of the 24-25 NBA season. It's emotional. That's it. Last Freaky Friday video of the year for the NBA. Until next year, we do have obviously some more videos the rest of the way. We're definitely getting a game 5. We'll see if we get a game 6 and game 7. That obviously is all to be determined. We'll definitely have one more video, though. That's guaranteed. We will definitely have one more video this year. At most, we only have 3 videos left together. So, yeah, we're winding down here, guys. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. And thank you for following Freaky Friday all year long, for commenting, for joining. For those who have won gift cards this year, congratulations. For those who haven't, better luck next year. Until Game 5, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Freaky Friday. Have some freaky fun. Hopefully, we win some freaky money. Until then, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some big-time money, baby. Let's go.